All right, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. This is the brother Yakana from the GMS Houston camp, and just coming with another lesson. This is based off of what a brother put in the chat. The brother Daniela. That's a beautiful brother. He said that ChatGPT is saying that GMS or Great Millstone doesn't teach uh, that the mark is what we say it is. So hey, I figured, hey, that's a good lesson to go into. Plus, I get to see for myself what it's gonna say. And so I asked ChatGPT, what does Great Millstone teach about Revelation 13:16? And it misunderstood what I was talking about. It thought I was talking about another chapter in Revelation. So uh anyway, just skipping past this because I had to go and clarify it, 'cause it thought I was talking about something else, but that said no, the Great Millstone, also known as GMS, the Hebrew Israelite group or Hebrew Israelites. And it says, got it, you mean GMS, Great Millstone Hebrew Israelites, not the millstone symbol itself. Thanks for clarifying. And this is also a thing that you learn using ChatGPT or any kind of AI, and just for yourself, myself first, foremost, because I'm experiencing this, is you learn how to, ask questions, how to refine your questions, how to, you know, try to get to the point and be focused in what you're asking without any kind of, uh, like what you have here. So where there isn't any confusion in the answer that you're going to get. You learn how to, you learn how to give, a direct answer, let your yay be nay and your nay be nay. And then you learn how to ask questions, to get the answer that you want to give or get, if that makes sense. So, you learning how to ask better questions, to put it shorter. And Salaki for, rambling. But below is an accurate summary of how GMS generally teaches Revelation 13:16 without adding or softening it. So I'm just going to look at, a few parts of this and then skip around, just a few parts because it's completely off. It says how GMS Hebrew Israelites teach Revelation 13:16 through 17. And it says, and he causeth all to receive a mark that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. And it says the mark equals forced allegiance to the beast system. GMS teaches that the mark is not a chip, which is an outright lie. We've been, as far as I know, that from what I've heard from the apostles, elders, that especially from the apostle Tahar, he knew, or he had an understanding of what the chip was, before it was even being taught. What the MOTB was, so hey, this was a thing that's been understood as what Revelation 13:16's been talking about before, now. And even before I was in the truth, I was always, man, they want to, when you see things in movies where, they're showing people that don't have a microchip not being able to participate in society and things like that. But anyway, moving on, it's like you're constantly seeing things that is like, man, why do they keep showing this in the media? Why do you keep showing things like this? Why do you keep scanning people? But anyway, it says GMS teaches the mark is not a chip, not mystical, and not symbolic only. It's forced submission and identification with the beast system, especially America, Babylon, and its power structure. The mark in hand for working or materially supporting the system. The mark in forehead agreeing with it mentally and ideologically, which is outright completely false. So, hey, well, it says total economic control, but it's through the chip. But anyway, hey, I'm not even gonna bother with this because it's already wrong. So I just went down past it because hey, that first one is wrong. The whole thing is wrong. So I ain't even gonna bother. Oh, that's right. That's right. No, it's all wrong. Throw it out because that's not what the apostles, elders, the brothers. That's not what we've been taught, and that's not what we teach. It says I said GMS teaches the mark is a chip. You just said they don't. Oh, GMS teaches the mark is a chip. You just said they don't. In other words, they don't teach that. And then the AI said, you're right. GMS does teach the mark is a physical chip. I misspoke earlier. So keep in mind that this AI, all this AI stuff, is all a demon. It's going to lie to you. It's going to gaslight you. It's going to say things aren't real. It's going to say GMS teaches this when they don't. It's going to say other Israelite groups, they teach this when they don't. If I asked it, if instead if I asked, if about another Israelite group teaching about the mark, it would have said, oh yeah, they teach the mark as a chip. But that's just speculation. I ain't even asking any of that. So it says, you're right. The GMS does teach the mark is a physical chip. I misspoke earlier. Thank you for correcting that. Let me restate it accurately the way GMS actually teaches it. It says what GMS teaches about Revelation 13, 16 through 17, corrected. So what the brother said, that the AI, ChatGPT, is going off. By saying that, I tested it and it was going off. Now, if you don't know the information, if you don't know the doctrine that we teach, you might just run with that. If you simple-minded like that, but hey, if you know the doctrine, everything like that, everything that it says that's a lie, hey, you're able to rebuke it, correct it. So the mark is a physical chip. GMS teaches that the mark of the beast is a literal physical chip implanted in the body. They base this on he cause of all, forced, not symbolic, receive a mark, something tangible, in the right hand or forehead, specific bodily locations. That's right. No buying or selling requires a technological system. So every other way, like these different groups, it's Caesar Borgia, it's the white man, is this, that, whatever. It's sin. Like, how is there a tangible way to determine if you sin? They got a sinometer. They got a thing out there to determine that you got Caesar Borgia in your hand or in your forehead. No, this is done through technology. It says GMS often links this to RFID, microchip technology, biometric systems, digital identification and currency, and government corporate enhancement. So all this now is saying the truth. Now it's saying it's true. What we say. The chip controls buying and selling. According to GMS, the chip replaces cash, cards, and IDs. Without it, you are locked out of the economy. It is the final form of economic slavery. That's right. Like I'm going to go into later on this, Lord willing, is that CHIP, what you're seeing now, or it's going to replace all that. It's going to have your ID, your biometrics. It's going to have your banking information, everything on that chip. It can be pulled up easy. You no longer have to carry around separate items. It's a one-stop shop. Now what you see at certain airports, you see it in the news a little bit here and there. You'll see a little bit of information. And I don't get to, go to airports and travel all that often, so I have to rely on, news sources. I have to rely on the information that's coming out. You'll have facial recognition that goes on at the airports, wherever, facial recognition, and then you have, digital ID. That's all going to be tied together. And it's going to be tied together with the biometrics. And you also have Apple ID that's getting on board with this. All this stuff is leading to this one point, total, what it says, economic slavery, the final form of economic slavery, to where it's going to be implanted in you. This fulfills that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. So, like I said, you're going to be locked out, completely locked out. Oh, we don't take cards no more. Nah, you can't just tap your card. No, you can't just send money, Cash App. No. No, you can't just show me a physical ID. No, that's not accepted here. The chip also represents allegiance. The chip does not teach, GMS does not teach. The chip is only tech they teach. The chip reinforces worship and obedience. Why? Because if you're getting this implanted in you, you're showing your allegiance to that. That's like a badge of honor, or not a badge of honor, a badge of servitude. I misspoke. But also, I believe it's Exodus, it already have an all. You put an all through your ear, marking that you're now a branded slave. This is like the modern day all. Instead of going through your ear, it's going in your forehead or in your hand. Accepting it equals submission to the beast system. You can't separate technology from worship in this context. So it says the physical act equals spiritual betrayal. So this is your act of submission. I love my master, and I want to be with him forever. So the Israelites will be the focus. GMS teaches Jacob is already at the bottom. Yeah, we already teach that. When you're at the bottom, they shall be the head, you shall be the tail. Part of the curses. The chip becomes the final method of control, because you're not going to be able to do anything without it. You're not going to be able to participate in society. You're not going to be able to buy, sell, eat, buy houses, rent a place, rent a car, buy gas, down to the very simplest things. With the technology right now, just forget your phone at home. Forget your phone at the house. What are you going to do? You don't remember no phone numbers. You don't know how much money you got in your account, because you ain't keep track of that, because the phone keeps track of it for you. You probably can't clock into work. And anything else. You're probably not even going to know which way to get to work. So the chip becomes the final method of control. Israelites who refuse will become labeled extremist criminals. So you're not wanting to participate. You're holding us back. We're trying to make this place great again, and you're holding us back. They tie this to Revelation 12 and 17, Daniel 7:25, Matthew 24:21 through 22. So which I wish it had posted it, but it, for time's sake, I'm just going to stick to the ChatGPT. It says, no repentance after taking it. GMS is firm on this. Once the chip is taken, judgment is sealed. Because there's no way you can get it out. Like your hands and your muscles in your hands. Like, yeah, it looks simple, but you need surgery to take anything out in that little space in your hands. In your head, getting that stuff, they have to do surgery to put that stuff in you. Look at the technology right now. They're having to do surgery to put them chips in them people's heads with Neuralink and all them other companies that are doing it. Revelation 14:9 through 11 applies literally. So those that took the chip, you're gonna be destroyed here in the lake of fire, the thermonuclear destruction. There is no repentance window, because once you take this and you made your decision, that's a line in the sand. Either you take it or you don't. And when you take it, you're an enemy to the Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Online GMS position, the mark of the beast is a literal microchip that controls buying and selling and represents full submission to Babylon. Taking it brings irreversible judgment. So it goes into the next, and hey, I didn't even bother a lot of times, to look at what it's saying, but I just put in the Strong's words for charagma, charax, and grapho. So those are strong Greeks numbers G5480, G5482, and G1125. Here's what they mean in the Greek text and how GMS uses them, especially for Revelation 13. It says G5480 charagma, and it says used in Revelation 13 verses 16 through 17, meaning a stamp, an imprint, an engraved mark, something etched, scratched, or branded. The root idea, something physically impressed into an object. And what we've been saying, this is going to be a subdermal, meaning that it's going to go under the skin, micro chip. GMS emphasizes it's not symbolic. It's not symbolic. This is a real thing, not metaphorical. It's not something else. It's not something else. It's what it literally is. A literal mark placed onto or in the body supports the chip implant doctrine. So this is what it is. The Strong's helps you to understand better. This is what it is. And going into the words, learning the words, the root words, all this stuff helps you get a better understanding. Why this matters, the word is never used for ideas or beliefs. It always implies a tangible mark. So it's not used how other groups will say, oh, it's the idea, it's sin, it's this, it's Caesar Borgia. No, it's something tangible, meaning you can touch it. You can feel it. You get that thing in your hand, you be able to feel where that C-hip is. I've seen videos of people with the implants, and they press their skin up, and you can see the imprint under their skin, where they got the thing. This is G5482, charax, and it says a root word of G5480, meaning a sharp stake, a pointed instrument, something used to pierce or engrave. So used in Luke 19 and 43, a trench, an embankment with stakes. So when you think of a stake, a palisade, what is that? A rampart. Basically it's those pointed logs that make like a wall or a fortress that's hard to get over. GMS connection, the mark charagma comes from charax, implied piercing or insertion. Reinforces the idea of implantation, injection, invasive marking. So this is, and what we say this is that delivery method. This is the syringe or the scalpel. However they're going to get this in you. It's a cutting instrument. It's going to cut into you. This is a key linguistic argument GMS uses. So this is key. This is very crucial for breaking down what the mark is, because when you look up the word mark, I think there's over 10 different words or definitions, that go into the word mark, where you have, scopeo, mark them, marking somebody out, somebody's name. You have the mark that's in Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, going into, hey, that's a spiritual thing. Because that's not physical. That's a spiritual exemption. That's an exemption from judgment that you're receiving. And Lord willing, I received that mark of exemption. The brothers, the elders, the apostles, we all received this mark of exemption from this destruction that's coming. That's the mark that you want to receive. The mark that's in Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. You don't want to get this physical one. This is G1125, grapho. It says meaning to write, to engrave, to inscribe, to record permanently. Related words: graph, graphic, holographic, photograph. Okay. But it says GMS usage. Writing does not equal ink only. So when it's writing, it's that charagma is going to have the writing on it. Like it says, your ID, your information, your biometrics, everything on it. It's going to basically information. Can mean engraving data, supports the idea of information being written into a system, a recorded identity, a coded mark. So basically, it's like I said, the digital data. It's the data that's on that chip. It's you. How GMS combines all three. GMS argument in plain terms. The Charax, a piercing tool, is used to create a charagma, engraved mark, which Grapho records, writes data for buying and selling. That's why GMS says the mark must be physical, it must be invasive, it must be database, it must be economically functional. So it's all tied to that. Why this supports Revelation 13, 16, and through 17 literally, says to receive, to take physically. No, I don't know what that. I'm gonna have to look at that word later. It says in the hand, forehead, real locations, buy or sell, requires verification. Charagma, engraved, not imagined. One sentence, GMS linguistic conclusion. The Greek words used for mark demand a physical, invasive, recorded mark, not a symbolic belief system. So, I believe the point has been made that this thing was lying at first, and then when you pressed it, you press it for the information, it tells you the truth. So that's just knowing what this thing is, especially since they're starting to tighten everything down and start to crack down on everything. Information is going to be harder to come by. Information is going to be harder to get, especially if you don't know the questions to ask. And then also, as you move further, you're going to find more and more information. And that's what makes this truth so much more precious. Because one, you didn't find this on your own. The Most High led you to it. Speaking of myself first and foremost, the Most High led me to this information. The Most High led me to a great millstone. And Lord willing, He continues to lead me. And Lord willing, I'll make it to the chariots. Lord willing, I'm a part of that 144,000, a part of the elect. But this information, it's out here, and it's not going to be for much longer. So get this while you can, because the famine is coming. It's not going to be able to be found. And the people that have been breaking it down, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, that have been breaking this down for years, you're not going to be able to find them. You're not going to be able to find videos. You're not going to be able to get on the internet, look at the Blue Letter, look at the Bible Hub, look at the King James. You're not going to be able to look up the Strongs. You're not going to be able to find a physical copy of the Bible. Let me find the Strongs, the physical Strong's book, and look at all this stuff. When all this happens, you got what you got. And if you haven't been studying or anything like that, that's what you stuck with. But Lord willing, this has been edifying. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Shalom.